Hello there. Surprise, surprise, a fourth video today. Now this woman even ruined my working schedule. She was already considered to be badly hit, but now she's taking the consequences. Great Britain's Conservative head of government, Liz Truss, is resigning from her office. British Prime Minister Liz Truss is stepping down after just 6 weeks in office. That said the politician from the Conservative Tory party on Thursday, so today at a press conference scheduled at short notice in London's Downing Street. I spoke to the King to let him know that I am stepping down as leader of the Conservative Party, Truss said. She wants to remain in office as Prime Minister until a successor is found. According to the outgoing head of government, this process should take place within the coming week. She had been fighting for her job since she's really driving me crazy, since she triggered financial chaos with planned tax cuts and had U-turns. Only last Friday, Truss fired Kwasi Kwarteng as Chancellor of the Exchequer and replaced him with former Secretary of State Jeremy Hunt. The withdrawal was preceded by a meeting with influential Conservative Graham Brady of the 1922 Committee. The Tories' internal party rules provide that a new leader is protected from a vote of no confidence from within their own ranks for a year. However, the rules could be changed at any time by the responsible backbench body, the spoken of 1922 Committee, should enough Tory MPs demand that. Truss said she started with a vision of enabling high growth through low taxes, but she was unable to fulfill the mandate for which she was elected. King Charles III has already been informed of her resignation, and she will, as I said, remain in office until a successor is determined. According to the outgoing head of government, this process should take place within the coming week. As leader of the Tories, she wants to resign immediately. Truss came under massive pressure again on Wednesday after Interior Minister or Home Secretary Suella Braverman first resigned, and then there were chaotic scenes during a vote in Parliament. In some cases, MPs are said to have been intimidated and pressured into voting for the government's position. Many observers describe the scenes as unique, and Labour MP Chris Bryan told the BBC that Conservative colleagues cried on his shoulder. In her party, resentment and resistance to Truss has grown in recent weeks. More than a dozen Tory MPs had publicly called for her to resign. Her position has become untenable. That's what MP Cheryl Murray tweeted, adding that she withdrew her confidence from the Prime Minister by submitting a letter to the relevant party body, the 1922 Committee. And Keir Starmer, head of the opposition Labour Party, called for general elections rather than a mere replacement of the Tory leadership in view of the government chaos. According to polls, the Conservatives are currently about 30 percentage points behind the opposition Labour Party. The British pound got a tailwind after Truss' announcement, and the course rose by almost 1% against the dollar. The British stock market also gained around 1%. Just because of her leaving. After resignation, it's unclear who could succeed Truss. Ex-Chancellor of the Exchequer Rishi Sunak was defeated by Truss in a runoff election to succeed ex-Prime Minister Boris Johnson in the summer, but he is considered controversial in the group. And Parliamentary Secretary Penny Mordaunt and Defence Secretary Ben Wallace are also considered possible alternatives. However, there is no clear favorite, and Braverman probably too, because she stood against her. That's how she will sell it. Truss only succeeded Boris Johnson at the beginning of September, who resigned after several scandals under pressure from his own party. After the tax fiasco, resentment and resistance against Truss grew. And according, as I said, the polls, it doesn't look good for the Conservatives with a general election. But what chance do they have now? Will we have now the second Prime Minister that has no backing of the voters behind him? It was already the case with Truss. The last one standing in a general election was Boris Johnson. He won that by a big margin with a lot of lies. And so the people are probably much wiser now on that point, but they don't have the chance. And so the system is not something I call yet too, let's say, too democratic. Because in the case here in Germany, if that would happen right within, Parliament at least elects a new chancellor. The majority of the whole Parliament has to vote for the one following, and which is not combined with a general election, which is problematic sometimes as well. But in the cases we had here in Germany, it would have changed much, so to speak. But in the case of the UK at the moment, polls are no elections, so they don't count for Parliament. But you always get the feeling, talking about the UK at the moment, the things I report about the UK at the moment were things I reported about Italy in the past. And everyone was making fun of Italy with so many governments in such a short time and so on. They got out of that for some time, and now it happened again. But they got better. But the UK is getting worse and worse at the moment. What was it now with Liz Truss? 45 days? The Prime Minister? Well, there will be more days because they don't have a successor yet. But 45 days as party chairman and Prime Minister. Now still caretaker Prime Minister. But what is that? And she ruined my whole schedule today with her announcement. But as you can see, I now managed to make this fourth video, but I won't be able to change the videos tomorrow. But she still is Prime Minister, and everything I prepared for tomorrow is still valid. So I will let the videos run as I prepared them. The only thing I don't do is to mention that she resigned today in those videos tomorrow, but that doesn't really make a big difference, because what we can expect now will not make everything much better, except it will be a general election, which is still very, very unclear. But I made a longer video about what happened after the PMQs on Wednesday, and so that's still valid to talk about it. I'm talking in more detail about Braverman and also the pressure on the Tory MPs, which I really find appalling. And I'm talking about the inflation and stuff like that in the videos tomorrow, and about trade with Germany. So all of this is still valid, no matter if there's only a caretaker prime minister or a prime minister under fire. So it doesn't change anything. But I found it necessary to do this fourth video today because of YouTube is only pushing the signal through to viewers 3 times a day. Might be that you will not have seen it right when I published it today, but I hope many of you do, and I hope that to hear from you what you think. Who will be the next British Prime Minister? That is one of my questions. I would love to see you answering in the comments under the videos. I know you love the comments, so please speculate and tell me what you think who will be the next Prime Minister. And on the other hand, do you think we will have general elections called soon, or do you think the general elections under current circumstances are still up for 2024? Those are the 2 questions I would love to get your answers on your thoughts in the comments under the video. And the other thing, talking about comments under the video, is, and I put it on the thumbnail today as well, because it was the obvious choice to use the letters for the thumbnail today in this case, and the shelf lives. But some of you also wrote that I probably have to make live streams in the future only, because everything is happening so fast that you can't prepare a video anymore, and it's the topic is gone as soon as you filmed it. And not completely, because everything, as I said, that will be in the videos tomorrow will be valid, and everything is still the way I talk about in the videos tomorrow. The only thing is that she resigned from party leadership immediately, and she will not be Prime Minister next week, 2 weeks. I don't know what they're going to do, but she still is. So on that part, everything is still valid in the videos tomorrow. So don't worry about that. You still get a lot of interesting information, and Doing live streams 3 times a day on fixed times is unfortunately not possible because I also have a lot of voluntary work. I skipped some of this today spontaneously because I still had to make this video for today because of the current happenings in the UK, but I always have to be prepared for that, obviously. But nevertheless, oh yeah, there were other questions about the health stuff. It's I'm better than the weeks where you see me, but I'm not fully recovered yet. You might see this in my weekly magazine on global politics that's coming out tomorrow at 6 a.m. CEST. I said that on the other channels because I overworked myself a little bit before I got sick. I will do weekly magazines with the topics of the week, and that you can see there. But on that one, I filmed that last after the videos for my UK channel. You can see somewhere in the middle of the video that at some point in time there's suddenly sweat running down my glasses because I took it a little bit too far with doing these videos of that length today in one row, and I broke into sweat. If you can see the point in the video, let me know. I definitely know when that happened still, and I know how much I had to ignore that. But that's life. I am still here for you, and we will see us again tomorrow. I'll be back.